Welcome back to our channel. Today we're talking about other structures coverage in your home insurance policy. Now, if you're a homeowner, you probably already know that your insurance protects your house. But what about the structures on your property that aren't attached to your home? That's where other structures coverage comes in. And understanding how it works can really help make sure you're fully protected. So what exactly does other structures coverage include? This part of your home insurance policy covers structures on your property that aren't directly attached to your house. If there's a distinct gap or open space between the structure and your main home, it likely falls under this category. Even if it's connected by something like a fence, a utility line, or just a wall, it's still considered a separate structure. Think about things like a detached garage, a dock on the lake, or an in-ground swimming pool. Since it's not physically connected to your house, it would fall under other structures coverage. The same goes for a gazebo in your backyard, a greenhouse, or even a flagpole. If you have a barn or a guest house on your property, those would also be covered under this section of your policy. Even your driveway and fences are considered other structures since they're separate from your main house. Now, why does this matter? Well, let's say a storm comes through and knocks a tree onto your detached garage, causing major damage. Since the garage isn't part of your main dwelling, the cost to repair or rebuild it would be covered under other structures instead of your primary dwelling coverage. The same thing applies if a fire damages your guest house or if a strong wind knocks down your fence. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the coverage limit for other structures is typically a percentage of your dwelling coverage. For example, if your home is insured for $300,000, your other structures coverage might be 10% of that, meaning you'd have $30,000 to cover repairs or rebuilding for any separate structures. It's always a good idea to check your policy and see if that amount is enough for your specific property. If you have multiple detached structures, you may need to consider increasing your coverage. Another thing to consider is that other structures coverage doesn't apply to structures used for business purposes. So if you're running a business out of a detached building on your property, your standard home insurance policy may not cover damage to that structure. You might need to specifically add coverage to your homeowner's policy or add separate business insurance to make sure you're fully protected. So how do you know if something is covered under other structures or if it falls under your main dwelling? A simple way to think about it is to ask yourself if there's a clear separation between the structure and your house, if there's a space between them, or if it's only attached by a fence or a utility line, it's probably covered under other structures. If it's physically connected, like an attached garage or a built-in porch, then it would be considered part of your main dwelling coverage instead. Understanding other structures coverage can save you a lot of headaches in the long run. If something happens to a separate structure on your property, well, you want to make sure you have the right coverage in place to repair or replace it. Take a look at your policy and check your coverage limits so you know what to expect if you ever need to file a claim. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content that helps make insurance easier to understand. Have questions? Drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.